Oh, okay. Oh boy. Oh, we're waiting for you. We want to make this. We want to make this right.
You're the host.
We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it right.
You're the hostess with the mostest.
We don't half-ass anything here at Chooping it up.
Episode 7. NCAA.
I love how he knows every time.
I'm the one that does all the graphics and stuff.
Psycho.
Speaking of NCAA, when do I get my money?
That's a good
Did
point.
you win?
Yes, Matt.
How did I win?
Text me your Venmo. I'll shoot it over to you. I'll have my wife send it over.
I take Venmo or cash, preferably cash, because I like that cold hard money, just like Randy Mosh. Cold hard cash, homie.
Yeah, good. You could use it to go get your hair cut, bud.
I'll throw a couple bucks your way to get your haircut
Dude,
too.
I was wearing it.
Look at this hair you got going.
Wearing
sure
a hat,
you?
bud. Flat, man.
Stone.
He's like a
glass
head and shoulders commercial.
Dude, just
What's up, Troy?
yo, my hair's matted down. Just got done winning a baseball game, 17-1.
Huge W.
Huge
Hoop.
W.
Congrats.
Huge.
Way to
huge
go, bud.
W. Yeah, thanks.
Who you guys got next now?
Old Forge.
You gonna go scout?
Yeah, think about it. Yeah, junior. It's very important on the junior high level to go scout other teams. Yeah.
Winners win.
When I mean, that's today. I had to do this with you guys. Tomorrow will be the scouting
Since
day.
you gotta
No
go
pig.
contribute all your time since you're not even getting paid for this season.
Yeah. For the kids.
Back to the motto for the kids.
Oh boy.
So we got Jack here for the last time, huh?
Oh, easy the last time. I love him. I love him, but
Wow.
last time.
Tanner's in a mood.
I mean, I'm not gonna say that
Shots are getting fired.
I'm not gonna say that I've gotten some messages asking when we're going to have a new guest. But I've gotten some messages asking when we're gonna, rotate the guest.
Episode 8, right?
Yeah.
New guest, episode 8.
Well, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
What'd I say? This is 7?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is
okay.
7, bud.
You were kind of well in it.
I know,
What that
yeah.
meant.
Yeah.
So before we let Jack
Before
get
we
on
get-
here, Combine. How do you feel about that?
The what?
The Combine.
It's Hooper
Well,
2021
Yeah.
Combine.
Thank you.
Well, I don't know. I find it weird that before we went on air, I just made the passing comment. 100% I could run a sub 5.
There's no way you're sub 5.
I would love
5.
for us to put this on like a
Sub 5.
You're a sub 5 on one of them little tricycles with the little bleep bleep air horns on the bleep 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 down the track. Then you're sub 5.
So you're sub 5.
Sub 5.
Oh, you're getting the call. Oh, he's in.
Wow.
Let him in.
But-
Let him in.
No. We're not going on when he calls me. We call him.
No. let him in.
Yeah. We don't.
Wow.
All right, whatever. You're lucky I like you. I wasn't going to answer the phone.
Hooper wasn't going to answer the phone on you.
We don't go on your time. We go on our time, and we weren't ready to call you yet.
What do you mean? I gotta.
Tanner texted
I
him.
did
Text me to call you. I did text.
I got a text from Matt saying call Hooper now. Let's go.
Set him up
Okay.
for disaster.
The production
All
script is way off
Yeah.
today.
Jack.
All right, well,
What did you think of Michigan
Jack.
didn't make it to the championship.
Jack, do you think
Jack.
Hooper's a sub 540? You think he can run a sub 540?
Me?
Yeah.
no, not you.
We know you
Hooper.
can.
Yeah, we know you can't. Hooper says he can run a sub 540.
100%.
How much of a tailwind are we talking about?
I said he needs a tricycle with the little air horn, the little bleep bleep. You know,
All right, you guys are all going to look stupid.
I never said
That's
you
right,
weren't,
Matt
but-
didn't.
I didn't say you
He-
did, but I didn't say you weren't.
Matt's thinking it real hard. He just won't say it out loud. Listen, I mean, the clip's out there on Instagram. You saw my athleticism on the basketball court
Yeah,
that one
okay,
day.
CD Lamb.
I want to
Chill
make
out.
sure this is a pro day, not a combine. We got to go pro day.
Are you gonna do like the
Quarterback drills, something.
The
Wide
shot,
receiver drills.
Tanner
Yeah,
could be
we're-
out there, my receiver.
D-line pass rush.
We're gonna see Choop videos all summer with him in a parachute, like just trying to get ready for his combine.
Dude, this is
going
actually,
through the ladder and
Pro
everything?
day prep.
Jack, that is a good. That is. What's going on here? Was that you, Jack? What is this? What is going on?
Well,
Someone
I'm
just,
cleaning up from dinner.
someone just yelled. We thought it was on your end, no? Okay.
Oh, we're good. We're good.
It was weird.
That was weird.
We have in our undisclosed location, we have all the windows
We're
open.
a little more prepared today.
Yeah, it was and the lights on. We're not in the dark. It was weird last week. But yeah, no, Jack, that's actually a good point. I'm going to train for the 40, and you're going to be seeing clips of it, people, out there on the Choopin' It Up Pod Instagram, I think.
He'll be doing Hasselhoff promos in the sand.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't get you the stats on the. You didn't get the stats before we went on air.
Yeah, he did it second time in a row.
What we could, you could just like have your video, and at the bottom put your advertisement for our new sponsor.
Yeah.
Your new sponsor. Not my own. I'm just a guest.
Yeah. Which, speaking of that, hey, Jack. Good run, Jack. Good run. Last episode of Jack on the pod here.
It's been a pleasure,
NCAA
bud.
tournament. Give him a
It's
clap
been a
up.
pleasure.
Been a pleasure.
Your acknowledgement on the
I
game
think
is
my time-
unbelievable.
I think my time has like come to an end. I listened to last week's podcast. You could tell I didn't have the energy.
That's a good.
I was saying about three words every minute.
It's a good assessment.
Yeah. Well,
I felt it too.
self-recognition is imperative to growth.
Out there.
Speaking of the game, what did you
Self-awareness.
think of the game, Jack?
Pull up the stats.
I thought that Baylor was much better than Gonzaga.
Like I tried telling
which
you.
is, I think it doesn't take an idiot to say that. But I do think the game
Oh, you got that
on
5G?
Saturday night, the game on Saturday night played a huge role in that because you look at
Who?
Like,
Baylor against
Baylor-
Houston or Gonzaga against UCLA?
Gonzaga against UCLA. That's the late game.
Okay.
They're not like Baylor's sitting at home just like thinking about the national championship. They had no emotions whatsoever. Like it was just like, yep, we did what we're supposed to do. UCLA on the other, or Gonzaga on the other hand, had a stressful win, an emotional win. That game went into overtime. Didn't get over till like 11:30 at night. Now you have to do all the press conference, all that stuff. So God knows when they're going to bed. Meanwhile, Baylor's just like, all right, let's get ready for this tomorrow, boys. And like,
Right.
they're probably already ready, but like, I just know from my experience, an emotional win like that, it's very hard to come back and get your mind onto the next game, even though it's a national championship. It's still it's hard to get your mind out of that moment.
Do you think Suggs going down a little early with those two fouls had any impact on Gonzaga, or do you think Baylor just had the game in control at all times?
I mean, Suggs start the game off with 2 turnovers, including the charge. Like, even though the charge might have been questionable, but like, I just think Baylor was better. Like, I
I
Baylor
agree. I
was
was
the
just
better
wondering if you
basketball
thought that had any play into it.
I mean, maybe a little bit, but like, it just didn't. It was one of those games that right from the start, it felt like right from the get-go, it's like, okay, this is Baylor's game.
Just didn't seem like they
but-
missed
and
either.
They weren't missing. Whereas
Yeah.
Gonzaga couldn't hit water if they fell out of a boat.
Baylor shot well.
Well, you kind of saw that in the UCLA game too. Gonzaga relies so much on getting great easy 2-point baskets,
Yes.
and Baylor making shots took away the transition game, and even off of makes, and Gonzaga will push it off of makes. Baylor's ball pressure just took them out of it, and it took a while for them to even start getting shots. But the thing was, then they were going 2 for 3. Like, it was Gonzaga was getting 2s and some layups at the basket, but Baylor was coming down and hitting contested 3s or wide open 3s, depending on the scenario.
Yeah.
In order for Gonzaga to get over the hump, they are going to have to make a commitment to the defensive end of the floor. That's the only way they're going to be able to get off. Like I know that if you look statistically here, their defense was better this year, but like, what competition was that against? And you just look at them. You saw it in the UCLA game. You saw it in the Baylor game. They give up a ton of dribble penetration. Guys are out of position, and I think against inferior opponents, they're kind of able to get away with that. Whereas against a really good Baylor team and against a UCLA team that had good guards, they weren't in position defensively that they could prevent dribble penetration and still close out to shooters. Whereas Baylor's defensive style is based off of their athleticism, and they really get out in your face. And it just, like, it felt like it matched the style of, like, what their personnel was. Whereas Gonzaga's, like, kind of trying to do some of the same things, but, like, their positioning, you didn't see people jumping to the ball. You didn't see people, you saw people turning their backs to people. Like, I just thought it caught up to them. And I think back to, like, even Virginia, Texas Tech. Virginia and Texas Tech in that game a couple years ago was a remarkable game offensively, but both teams were tremendous defensive teams as well. And, like, they had that balance that you knew that both teams, different styles, but they knew they could get stops when they needed to, and they knew how to score. Like, I had a coach once that said, defense wins championships, but you still have to score more points than the other team. Baylor was able to do things at both ends of the floor. Gonzaga is too one-dimensional.
What'd you think about where do you put the Suggs shot in the all-time great moments of the tournament there?
I think it lost a lot of value because it didn't win the national championship.
Well,
Wow.
right, yeah, I agree, but just in the in the
but
moment in itself.
I think, like, Matt, I know you and I mentioned it, I think, in the group text. Like, this tournament was missing, like, a moment.
Yes.
And that was a moment, like, that it was finally that buzzer butter ending. Like, there were so many games that came down to the buzzer, but then it'll be like, oh, this was, like, that moment. And yeah, I mean, I don't think it'll ever. It definitely doesn't top the Villanova.
No.
It doesn't.
It doesn't
top the
compete with that at
Villanova.
all. No way.
It doesn't. It doesn't top the Christian Leitner shot. But I do think, like, a play that, like, I'd say it's parallel to is the Valparaiso play that still gets shown to this day.
Bryce Drew.
With Bryce Drew. So, I mean, I guess it would be kind of on that level. It's definitely one that we're going to remember.
Yeah.
But
It sucks because
still-
Johnny Juzang, he had a great play before that to tie the game up. They roared back in overtime.
That was one of those, like, you watched that game and you knew it was a great, great game.
Yeah.
It was going to be one of those that you talk about for a long time. And it doesn't hit you until, like, I'm sitting there at a buddy's house of mine watching a game. Suggs hits the shot, and I just had zero reaction other than I put both hands on my head and was just like,
Wow.
wow,
Yeah.
I couldn't move for a couple minutes to even process what had happened, especially
you don't
after
realize that it goes
Juzang makes the play he made, you know. And then
Miss
you're
it,
not
put it back,
expecting a
yeah.
banked
Is it
in
short,
three
gets it.
to walk off and end it.
But it was one of those things where UCLA, once he made it, they just, like, they didn't have a clue. Like, and
Yeah, they
credit
took
credit to Suggs. He's like, give me the ball. We got
Right.
3 seconds.
Right.
I'm gonna be able to get this up the court.
Yeah, they thought they had a breath
Yeah.
of fresh
And
air there.
that's where the rule, like, in high school, that play would never even have happened.
Right. The clock
would
doesn't
have
stop.
ran out.
The clock doesn't stop. Right.
And well, you think about 2 rules. One, in men's college, I don't know. I feel like Gonzaga might have had a timeout. Was there no timeouts left? I don't even know.
I'm not sure.
But, like, the clock stops. But in women's college, in the NBA, if a team has a timeout left there, you're calling it and you're advancing it to
Right.
half
You go to
court.
half court.
Yep.
Exactly.
And you could run anything with 3.3 at
Yeah.
But it's almost like
Yeah.
that catch-22 of, like, what do you believe in? Would you rather push it in that situation and not let the defense have time to, like, set up their defense? Or would you rather have time to drop a play where you want to kind of get the shot that you want? Because we saw, what
Yeah.
game was it? It was not Baylor. It was South Carolina, and who's in the Arizona.
Arizona.
Yeah, right, right.
She calls that timeout and she draws up a play, and you're thinking, what was she thinking, or what
Yeah.
kind of play, what kind of shot were you trying to get? It almost was better off just playing the game and not letting the defense set up at all.
Right.
Well, that's a point towards that. I feel bad for anyone that didn't watch the women's
Oh, that was a great
Final
game
Four
too.
and national championship.
Great
Like
game.
realistically, there were 2 bad games the entire weekend. So between the 2 tournaments, there was only 2 bad games, and the 2 bad games were on the men's side, both the Baylor's games. And it's not like you didn't want to watch, but like they just weren't like memorable games.
Right. Yeah, Baylor dominated both games.
The other games were like memorable. The Arizona UConn game was incredible. The performance the McDonald girl put on was
She
remarkable.
Unbelievable.
That's where I think you go back to what you're saying. If you have a kid like Suggs, play it out.
Yes.
You have a girl like the McDonald girl.
Get the ball in
let
her
her
hands,
play it out.
let her make the
But
play.
on the flip side, I think if I'm Baylor or I'm UCLA or I'm Arizona or not Arizona, Stanford in that situation, I might call a timeout and advance the ball and try to execute something.
Right.
Because they don't have that dynamic.
That go-to player that can kind of like get a bucket whenever they need
Right.
to. Right.
I don't know. Juzang looked like he was pretty good at doing
Yeah,
that.
but he can't. I don't think he's not able to handle the ball like Suggs.
Yeah.
Who?
Juzang.
Like he can create a shot, but he's not like a ball handler
Yeah.
to get from
Yeah,
point
I
A
feel
to
like
point
he's
B.
a guy. He's
Right.
an ISO guy in the half court. He's
Yes.
not like
Right.
Suggs is free flowing in the open court.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Juzang's a guy that we're going to run a set for side out.
Get him an open shot. Get
Yeah.
him one-on-one with somebody.
I'll tell you though, his moves off the dribble, like contest it. Like early on, I don't think that Gonzaga had Juzang on, or I don't think Gonzaga had Suggs on Juzang. I think they switched to that matchup. But even still, like
He was
his
still
ability
struggling to
to
guard with him.
elevate
Yeah.
over people. Yeah, he's 6'6". Suggs is like 6'4" or 6'5", and like he
Right.
looked like
Exactly.
a big jumping over a small guard.
Right.
It was very impressive. His draft stock definitely went up, whereas before the tournament, he probably wasn't even getting talked about.
You know whose draft stock probably went down after the national championship game? Tom's boy, Timmy. That was.
Do you know Timmy's coming back next year?
Well, he should after that performance.
Really?
They were ripping him apart the next day, like Jay Williams.
Good move on his
But
part.
but again, he got
He got
exploited.
yes, in the pick and roll.
He's not strong enough to play with kids like that. Kids
Baylor
had.
Yeah.
yeah,
Big
He
time.
can't play that game.
yeah. So his stock
see-
was rising. You have that game, and it's like, oh my god,
Right.
this guy
But
can't
again, who do you
guard,
play,
pick and roll.
I know Gonzaga played some good teams this year, but all in all, who's he playing against night in, night out?
Who was like a dominant big that
Yeah.
he really had to go against, or a defensive big that he really had to go against? Right.
And you think about
What
across
is-
college basketball, who's that? Like the same thing goes for like Hunter Dickinson at Michigan. Like he had a tremendous freshman season, and we talked about this on the one podcast. But like he is not.
Once he got
even
scouted, like you
near
said,
ready
he
for the
couldn't
NBA,
he couldn't
because
go
he
to
can't-
that right shoulder to get to his left hand. He was
can't-
done.
Like you have to. There's still so much to learn. Even the kid from Illinois, who obviously will be a high draft pick,
Garza.
Coburn.
Oh, Coburn.
Co-
Oh,
the-
Illinois.
the
My
big
bad.
kid
I'm thinking
inside.
Iowa.
In Illinois, like he was impressive, but like I guess in the NBA he'll be primarily a screener and that, but like does he have the other tools in his tool bag? And I don't know that
No.
as an NBA evaluator you won't actually get to
I mean,
know
not in
on some
today's
of these guys
NBA.
until they're actually in the league.
Maybe
Like, you're
12,
really
15
going
years
off
ago,
of
he'd be a good.
What type of work ethic does this kid have, and how much has he grown from when he first got there to now? Because realistically, you're not going to know on some of these guys until they're actually in the league, consistently playing against that competition night in and night out.
Right.
Because otherwise, like you brought up Garza, Garza had a tremendous year, but when he played against Coburn and when he played against Dickinson, he didn't really do a ton. Like in that. Like that's he showed that he could play from the outside a little bit, so I guess that's a plus side. But
I mean,
um,
if I had to say
it's
Luke
just
Garza has any chance, he has to almost become like a Doug McDermott. How Doug kind of transformed his game from going from Creighton and them just becoming a spot up shooter.
I think
Role player.
Garza could do all right because he reminds me of a little bit of like a Cody Zeller,
Okay.
you know. And Cody was a little more polished with the ball, but I think Garza can develop into that type.
I think he has the work ethic though
Yeah,
that he
you know,
could
he's-
kind
I
of
don't know
become
that
something.
I don't know that Garza's nimble as Cody Zeller though. Like, although I think
maybe
he has
Tyler
good
Zeller.
shirt with his back to the basket, but like
Cody was better than Tyler.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
right.
So maybe Tyler Zeller.
yeah, it's and I think that's this transfer rule. It's like you can't even right now say like, oh, who's going to be good next year because you don't know who's going where.
Right.
And you don't know who's like realistically if so many of these kids I feel bad for because they'll come out and say, oh, I'm going to the NBA draft, and then they just get lost because they weren't ready for the NBA draft. They either don't get drafted or they get drafted late second round. Then they might get stuck in the G League, but do they get stuck with an organization that's like a good fit? So it's just an interesting situation, like with what will come up, and then the transfer rule, like the transfer portal. Everyone's in the transfer portal. Like if you were just breathing on a bench this year, right, but didn't get into a game, pretty much you just said at the end of the year, oh, I'm going to test the waters of the transfer portal.
What do you think? What do you think about Chris Beard to Texas?
I mean, I didn't realize he was a Texas alum, so I guess that kind of makes sense. If he wasn't a Texas alum, I think that would kind of be a little bit disappointing.
Yeah.
But because part of me too, like, part of me like gets upset when it's just dollar signs and you see guys leaving.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you question the fit.
Right. Like your boy Porter.
Yeah, Porter. Like I actually last week I just bought Porter's book. Then all of a sudden into the week, I bought his book at the beginning of the week. I was like, this guy's doing everything right, and obviously he feels that's what's in the best interest for him. And it seems like he thinks like he made his run and he wants to test the waters somewhere else. And you can't fault a guy for that. He feels that that's moving up for him.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure he's still going to use some of the things.
At the same time, like I think you have to ask yourself, okay, is this a fit? Like, what we're doing there, where we're an underdog and we play this style, is that going to be the same style that works for us here? You know, like I remember when Rich Rod went to Michigan as a football coach, and he said like our recruiting philosophy is we try to find diamond in the rough players that like weren't given chance and stuff, and that's all well and good. But you're at the University of Michigan, you can get anyone you want. So now you have a talent or a talent pool that's not balanced. You have all these kids that are like stars, and now you have to. There's a lot of pressure on developing them. And are you in a position that you can? Because, like, you look at the Porter Moser, like, now he's got to build a whole new staff. So the culture he created there, he's not only doing it, he's trying to do it at Oklahoma, but his top assistant stayed at Loyola to replace him. So, like, it's just one of those situations.
It's interesting.
That, like, you have to ask yourself, like, is our philosophy going to be exactly the same? To the Chris Beard thing, Shaka Smart went there with from VCU. Everyone was very high on Shaka Smart. He played that pressing style. He hasn't pressed in the last 3 seasons.
Right.
Because it just didn't fit.
Right.
Like, and kudos to him for recognizing that, but it makes you wonder when he went there, did he say, okay, is this a situation that I can succeed at? It's almost like they always say that the key for long-term success in professional sports is getting your second contract. Right? The first contract's a start, but you need that second contract to be able to make a living. Well, for college basketball, it's kind of the same thing, right? To get those programs going off the ground, they have to kind of be the right fit. You have to have the right people around you.
Unless you're an assistant coach making $375,000 a year.
Like your best friend?
Yeah.
Danny?
Danny?
Now, Jack, I don't want to interrupt you, but I just want to let you know, give you a heads up that Tom was urging me to end the call on you,
he's full of it.
but I wouldn't do that to
He's
you.
full of it.
I wouldn't do.
I'm
I wouldn't
not
do
gonna
that. I
comment on
I
that
wouldn't
at
do
all.
that to you.
This is between Tom and Hooper.
Why did he want to end the call?
I don't know.
No,
I
no.
wouldn't. I wouldn't do that to you.
Hooper's playing games, bud.
But Jack, to kind of go off of your point about saying developmental, like how coaches had to develop these guys, is kind of going back to like Tom was saying about Kentucky and Duke, how they didn't have that time to develop these guys in the beginning of the season because of COVID, and you saw the hit that they took and not being able to go out there and really compete or play with these other top teams that were kind of put together already. If I want to use, that's what
Right.
I want to say.
Right. Yeah, they spent more time with each other. You know, a seasoned veteran group.
Right.
You know, and it kind of
Knew how to play with one another, knew the system, knew what to do, how to do it on their own, whatnot.
yeah.
Instead of those guys like I think Johnson that came in for Duke and he decided to leave halfway through the season, and you saw that Duke was actually playing better without him
When they
too.
were 4 and 5, he's like, "Yeah, guys, it's been fun. We'll see
Right.
ya." Cool. Who's
Isn't that
playing Miley
a
Cyrus
shame
now?
for Kentucky and Duke?
Huh?
I said, isn't that a shame for Kentucky and Duke?
It is. I mean,
Oh no,
I
Poor
felt
coach.
horrible.
poor Coach K and Cal.
Dude,
Yeah.
Coach?
How will they ever
Listen, I don't
survive?
care what you say about Calipari. He seems like, like an a-hole, but don't talk about Krzyzewski. He seems like a saint.
Spell it.
K-R...
Don't even tell me you can't do it.
No, it's K-R-Z-Y-E-W.
Nope. You already screwed it up.
All right,
I'm not
listen.
even gonna
I'm just
attempt
saying. I'm just saying. Coach K ain't out
You guys
there.
didn't bring me here for my spelling abilities.
Coach K ain't out there,
Die-
grabbing people by
Die-hard
the
Duke
throat.
fan.
He ain't
Coach
out-
is only there 29 years, 30 years, still
Good.
can't spell his name.
I'm just saying. He's a saint.
Did
He ain't out there grabbing people's
He's
throat.
been coaching since
More
you've been
wins than
finger
anybody.
painting in your diapers. You still
Brother.
can't spell
Or
his name.
twinkling your
Did you
daddy's
ever hear
eye.
the story? Did you ever hear the story about Ron Paulus? You remember Ron Paulus, who was the
Yeah.
point guard at Duke, and then he went and became the quarterback at Syracuse?
Greg Paul.
Greg Paulus.
Greg Paulus.
Ron Paulus was the Berwick
quarterback
Bulldog.
at Notre Dame.
Yep.
Yeah, he was the Berwick Bulldog. Greg Paulus, his dad was disgruntled, and you know how the parents usually get tickets that are relatively close to the floor, close to the bench, and he was yelling at Coach K, screaming at him. I don't know what he was screaming about. Probably his kid's playing time or something like that. Coach K didn't say a word to him. The next game, that was the next home game, Coach K walked out. He looked up to the ceiling. Greg Paulus's dad, they moved his seats from behind the bench to the upper deck, the last seat in Cameron Indoor. And Coach K gave him a wave, and that's where the guys' seats remained for the rest of the season.
That's awesome.
And then Greg Paulus left. And then he went to Syracuse.
Yeah, he graduated.
I
Though
think
he played all 4.
No,
He played all 4.
Yeah, he was a grad
Yeah.
assistant.
Yeah.
Right? Or not grad, a grad transfer. And then
Right.
is he at Ohio State still?
I don't think
was
he
an
still
assistant
is.
With that.
You'd have to Google him. Yeah, I don't think
He might- he-
Coltman.
He might end up in Indiana
Kept
if
no,
the
no
hat's
way.
there. Come on.
That's a good point, Hope.
I don't like him. We got the guy I want to be the next heir apparent. My boy John Shire sitting on the bench. I like John Shire.
Well, here's a question. Coach Gay, supposed to be the greatest coach of all time. When was the last time he had an assistant that was successful, that didn't get fired? Because they're all getting fired left and right. Wojo, fired. Jeff Capel, he's on his second stint, probably going to get tossed from Pittsburgh. if he didn't. I don't know if he did already. Collins out at Northwestern. Did he get fired yet? He's on his last leg.
He's not on his
got them to
last
the tournament.
leg. Yeah.
Dawkins got fired. Johnny Dawkins got fired from Stanford. Went to Central Florida. Had like one good season. Has been nowhere to be found since.
Yeah, but I don't think it's as much on those guys as it is on those programs. Tell me any of those programs that are relevant.
Well, you know what they do? They go to programs that they're trying to make it like Duke, like a program with high.
You saw how long it took Coach K to build it
which
like Duke.
Leads me to believe,
Right.
which leads me to question the integrity of Duke. If all these other programs
they don't
are supposed
cheat.
to be the same academically,
What you talking
and
about?
Duke somehow is getting all these players,
I get paid in rings, not money.
but those other programs can't sniff it. I don't know. Hoop, you got anything to say about that?
Listen, Zion's mom might have got $200,000. It is what it is, bud. What do you think? Duke's the only team doing it? They ain't. Sorry.
That's a hell of a defense of your program,
Yeah,
bud.
bud.
Sorry that
Way to defend the Duke name, bud.
Sorry that LaSalle. Well, listen, we all know. Listen, bud, we all know. Listen,
LaSalle,
the LaSalle Explorers. Sorry that they can't pay recruits to come there. You know what I mean? Like
Hoop doesn't realize, Tom, that I just tricked him. That was his interview. Like, if he ever wants to be up for a head coaching position at Mid Valley,
yeah,
I just tricked him.
I just figured out, is Hoop going to play by the rules? And we found out the answer to that question. No.
that's true. That is.
Yeah, I'm gonna start going around to all the kids, all the parents. I'm gonna start. Hey, you want?
He's going to be.
You want $25
gonna
to have
Well,
your
Jack,
kids?
he's already donating his paycheck this year,
He's
so
wrecking fences left and
just,
right.
selling
he'll just start
Acorn
donating his
Estate.
paycheck to everybody.
It's all
He's
right.
going to be saying, listen, I got a guy that builds houses. We got Acorn Estate and Schoolside Estate. So we'll take a tour this weekend.
He'll be selling
Look, you
apartments.
can't-
It's like Berwick all over again.
Yep.
Dude, we'll just build a Votech right here on campus, just like Southern Columbia. We'll be all right.
Oh, there's another good
Well,
one.
boys, I've been on here for a half hour. I think that's more than the listeners want to hear from me.
Well, Jack,
It's been a pleasure doing
I'm
this.
glad
for the
you
past
thought
4
so.
weeks.
Glad you said it. I know we didn't
I,
have to.
Wow,
It's been a pleasure doing this for the past 4 weeks.
it's a blast, Jack.
Wait, before you go, we do have one question. We're going to transition. Who you got in the Masters?
I was just going to say, if anyone out there wants to hear my Masters pick,
Let's hear it.
You have your own podcast? Are you promoting your own podcast,
Jesus,
Jack?
is this going to be another 15 minutes
I'm
just to
saying-
go off of your pick?
I'm predicting that Justin Thomas will win this year's Masters tournament.
Whoa.
He stinks at Augusta.
And if you want a sneaky person,
I'm thinking Brooks.
a sneaky person that
He's
might
been hurt.
I know,
be
but I feel like
in
he's
contention. And
Who?
I'm not 100% sure
Who'd you
that
say?
he's
He didn't
in.
say
I'm
anyone
not
yet.
even
Oh.
sure if he's in the tournament.
Excited.
But if he is, look out for Louis Oosthuizen. That's all I'm saying.
Yo.
I don't know if he's in the tournament, but if he is, look out for him.
He might not be in the tournament because he stinks. Like, what are we doing?
He's,
Oh,
All right,
he's
I
also
gotta get going.
98.
I'll see you guys.
Hey,
Best of luck.
take it
Jack,
easy, bud.
see ya.
Jack, been a pleasure.
Hey, boys. Jack Kelly, ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jack Kelly.
Hell of a run. Hell of a run.
You're
Now-
welcome. You're
now
welcome
this
that
is-
we ended it.
I'm going to when this
Oh my
when this
God.
goes out tomorrow. I'm going to
love 'em.
send a preemptive message to our new favorite listener, not from Dallas, Texas, but from New York, wherever he's nursing, John Runko. This is definitely going to be.
Johnny.
This is definitely going to be
Jay Rump.
at least just to get through that half hour. 7.5 adult beverages, bud. The over under is set at 7.5. If you
7.5
come-
sodas?
Yeah, 7.5 sodas.
Nice.
Interesting.
All right. Well, that was fun. I
That
guess.
was that was fun.
That was like Jack was like, I know this is my last time. I am not letting anyone else get a word. Like I'm going out.
He went out his way. I'll tell you. The
I
way
love
he
it.
came in is the way he came out. I'll
Yeah.
tell you that.
Yeah.
So before we sign off here, I know this is going on in the sports world. I just like to get your guys' opinion because I just love hearing your guys' thoughts. Is Deshaun Watson? How bad of a road do you think he's going down right now?
We got,
He's in trouble.
dude, we got people. I did not hear the. Wasn't there a woman that
There
came
was
out? Like I know there's a bunch of them, but wasn't
there's
there one
right
that had
now-
a video? There was a video.
I don't know
or
if there was
something?
a video, but there's like a transcript, I guess, of like what she said had happened, and I read it,
Jesus.
and it does not look good. If it's true,
Well,
I
he-
don't
he-
know. It's all hearsay right
Yeah.
now, but
Gotta let the process. But
Listen,
he lost a lot of
here-
sponsorship, right? Beach
Yeah.
dropped him today.
yeah,
Nike suspended it. I don't know if they completely ended it. I think they're gonna wait, but Beats cut him. Beats
don't
by
know.
Dre. Chris Sims thinks he might never play football again. Which,
Really?
Yeah.
Here's the deal.
Yo.
Anybody could say anything about anybody at any given time.
True.
I think it's a lot easier when that person is
When you have 20 plus
yeah.
saying the same thing, you got yourself some problems.
Yeah.
That's
Fool me once.
Yes.
Shame on you. Fool me 20 times. Shame on everybody else.
yeah, that's not
Yeah. All right.
That's
That's all I
not
wanted
good.
to know.
that's not good. So, who's the guest at episode 8?
I don't know.
I'm gonna throw a name out there. That's not because he's my buddy, but I think he'd be very entertaining. It'd be Ronnie Tomasetti.
Ronnie?
I think Ronnie or like
Yeah.
Chris Rebar would be nice. His expertise on the baseball, since baseball is coming up.
Yeah, it'd be much better than Hooper's expertise.
But I just won 17-1, man. I don't know what you're talking about.
Playing the sisters a little far.
Oh, but we might have some listeners from up that way. We can't. Speaking of listeners, you got some stats.
Yeah.
You got stats. You got some stats.
Zerphilus is still tuning in. So what do we want? We got
I don't know, man. This is your.
This is your time to shine.
You
going-
enjoy the stats.
geographic location.
Oh, here we go.
Everyone still 100
Pennsylvania's taking the lead. Oh,
No,
hold on. We got to
no,
go.
No,
we're
Texas was
fall-
it? Pennsylvania's in the lead. Texas is in the lead, dude. Still.
No, Pennsylvania, bud.
Let me see.
You think I'm lying?
Yeah,
to
I
you?
do.
96% in the
Think
United
I'm
States.
lying to you?
We still got Germany, a little bit of Ireland,
100% Earth.
and 100% Earth. Still, we're not there on Mars yet. Yeah, there you go. Wow.
My bad.
Pennsylvania 37%, Texas 32%.
Oh, damn.
Of that 32%, though, 88% holding strong in Dallas.
Jerry?
So
Wow.
So for these, so is that all the stats you're giving, or
Philadelphia,
Turnpike,
Matt's,
baby?
Yep,
Let's
yep.
get down there.
45%
Matt.
of the Pennsylvania market.
Let's get
15%
Matt, that's
down
it.
Scranton.
Be honest, Matt's going to get a haircut.
Boris.
He's hitting the turnpike, and he will be back in the morning for work.
See you soon. See you soon.
He will be on his route on time tomorrow.
He's taking the twilight hours, twilight rate on the
Well,
turnpike.
whatever I need to do, I make it happen. All right.
Yeah.
Practice at 8.
So
leave
you-
at 3.
Hope you had homework. You had homework.
But you can't do it like that.
You
But
Well,
you
no.
can't do it like that.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying, like
I
you
mean-
got homework. You had homework.
Let's
I
just
got-
whatever.
so
say
I know.
we
I
can
know.
go back to the last podcast and say that did happen.
I
It
have
was
one.
said.
I do have something I want to talk about. Sports World. We talked
Yeah,
about
go
it.
on.
Your thoughts?
What
So
do we talk about?
I don't know. I'm kind of confused right now.
no, I talked about. So me and Tom talked yesterday about eligibility for the drafts, like for the NBA, WNBA draft.
Uh-huh.
So NBA, obviously, they have to go to college,
Right.
and have to be out of high school a year, and then can go whenever.
Right.
Women's side, because when I was watching that UConn Arizona game,
Right.
they talked about the McDonald girl, how her draft stock or whatever, the latest WNBA draft. She was the mock draft. She was 8th.
Yeah.
They had her going 8th. So I'm like, let me go check it out because I wanted to see where the UConn Paige Beckers
Paige.
was.
Yeah.
Well, she's not on there. So then I'm like, oh, well, they must have to stay in school for a certain amount of time. They have to be out of high school for 4 years.
Out of high
4.
school.
They
thought
have
you
to
said
be.
3.
They have to be 22.
Whoa.
So, like, my thing to him was now they're getting to the point where you have, like,
Well, Paige
these
Beckers,
like
yeah.
a Paige Beckers. You have these girls that are whatever. You know,
That's
they're getting notoriety on social media. You know, because what is it? Ball's Life and Overtime.
yeah,
like they
yeah.
do good things highlighting high school
Right.
athletes on the national stage. So now, like, she comes in with hype. She wins the National Player of the Year as a freshman.
Freshman.
Now, granted, she got exposed against Arizona. Arizona beat her up. Like, they were not letting her do anything easy, but still, she'd be a top
True.
5 draft pick.
Her potential is top 5,
You go,
absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah.
And-
Her
but she
ability to
can't-
see the court, score.
But she can't go. So it's one of those things where they may need to look at that and maybe update that. And what are your thoughts on?
I think
The
it definitely hearing it that way definitely has to change. I mean, if
Yeah.
you have a player that's WNBA ready like Paige, why keep her
Right.
why keep her in college? Why not get her on the prime time and get her the exposure, more exposure than she already has? I think it goes back to what me and Tom were kind of talking about of their ability to kind of be able to broadcast them though. They kind of go in like a non-basketball aspect of seasons, I guess if you want to say, of putting them in summer when people aren't really in the house hanging out watching in home watching TV like you are in the winter for most of us on the East Coast here. So I think that's where they're kind of hurting, and I think if they had moved, or if they move, I think you're gonna see a change in that.
Yeah, and it's crazy too because now that you mention it that way, and I know we did talk about it on one of the podcasts, but like you think of all the great UConn players, like perfect example. Breanna Stewart was probably another one. She probably could have left as
Right.
a freshman.
Oh yeah,
And
Maya Moore, she
she's-
could have left.
They're like Breanna Stewart's dominating in the WNBA. She probably could have did that 5 years ago. I think this
Who
is
was
her
the
second
center
or
for Baylor that
third
was
year.
dominating?
Oh, Brittany Griner.
Brittany
Yeah.
Griner. You're
Yeah.
telling me she needed to stay in college for as long
Yeah.
as she did?
I can be honest. I'd rather watch them
Yeah,
stay in.
But no,
Well,
no, it's
yeah.
better.
Play
They
in
get
the-
they get more notoriety because again, I know Breanna Stewart's doing well, but like,
Yeah.
do you hear about her anymore? Do you really
Right.
hear about them?
Well,
Right.
no, but the thing about
But
them
that's
too
the
that
problem.
you
That's
look
a
at,
systemic problem.
Because of
like they play in the WNBA and then like
they have to go
in
overseas.
their off season, right? They're
Yeah.
going overseas and playing another season. So it's, I mean, it's not really like NBA players have like an off season either. Like they're always doing something, but
But
they have the ability to like not play in their off season where these WNBA players have to go play to get to support themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I just think it's wild, and I don't know, right? Because isn't the WNBA like, it's the overarching organization, right? It's like
It's-
this. It's run by the
That's the
same.
NBA. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the NBA. So and
Like
they make
if you go to where the Hall of Fame is for NBA, like all WNBA players are also in there now too.
and
Yeah.
you said it right. This is a collective. Like when they do the collective bargaining agreements, like that's when these rules come
Right.
up.
Yep.
So what do you thought? If so, when did you say the next one is? Soon, right? The collective bargaining for NBA.
I think they said 2024.
So you think they're going back to high school? You can go out of high school
Yeah, I think so.
if they do that. Do you think if they allow kids to go to the NBA out of high school that they have to stay if they choose to go to college? Do you think they should have to stay 3 years?
What do you mean? Like stay 3 years in
Yeah, like you could
college?
go. You could go to the NBA straight out, or you need to stay in college 3 years.
That's a good question. No, I don't think you have to stay the 3 years. If you're good enough, you should be able to.
Year by year.
Yeah, yeah.
Because
'Cause-
they fought at the college level long and hard to get that scholarship. Well, I'm thinking of it.
It's got to be tough for scholarships because you don't know who's going, who's not. Like I said,
shouldn't you be able to get that scholarship back once they leave? In that aspect.
Oh, yeah.
But
Yeah,
if they go late, like I mean, the recruiting's probably when does recruiting like? You probably already have your guys offered, so now you don't know. Okay, is this kid gonna go? Is he not gonna go?
Oh, you're talking about
Do
that. I thought you meant
yeah.
like, oh, okay.
It would
I
give
thought-
the college coaches a little more clarity on the scholarship
Yeah,
situation.
but then
and two,
but you got the transfer portal, so
true.
it's going to cloud everything anyway.
It all works itself out. They're
You
still
look-
going to
I
make their
think-
money.
I mean, I think the
That's all they're
transfer
worried
portal
about.
is stupid.
Right.
Because for every like one kid who
Excuse me.
should end up in the transfer portal, like a lot of them are just like, oh, we're not playing. We don't want to face a little adversity. Yeah, we're just gonna.
Right.
We're
That
gonna,
goes where that's.
Yeah.
I feel like that's society right now. They don't like
Yeah.
adversity. They don't like the hardship. They don't like to be told you're not good enough right now. Work at it, and
Yeah.
people just want to bow down and back away and not challenge themselves and go and get better at the game that they're playing, whatever it may be, whether it's basketball, football, or baseball.
yeah,
That's a reflection of our society, in my opinion. I could be
I
completely
agree.
wrong.
I
Oh,
agree.
you're right. You're right.
I agree.
The I sent that. I'm gonna beat it to death, but I sent it that video of Dane's interview yesterday, and he touched on it with that kind of stuff. And he said, It's
You
it's
love
parents
Dane
and
Fife.
No,
Like
I
you,
He
I
loves
love
Indiana.
Indiana.
He loves Indiana.
Dane was the
Anything-
story right now.
yeah.
Anything
So
Indiana, he
right.
loves.
But
So-
but he was at Michigan State up until he just
Right,
came
Guess
back,
what?
right?
Now
Guess
he's back
what?
where he belongs.
He's Indiana.
Right. He's a
Just-
Hoosier,
just-
bud.
and he's probably still gonna ignore your texts.
Right, probably.
Yeah. Okay.
That's okay.
But
Get him on the podcast.
Dane, if you're listening.
Yeah.
Dane.
But he talked about it with the in the interview, saying like, you know, one of the things like they talked. Dockich was the one that interviewed him. He said about how they recruit at Michigan State, the type of kid at Michigan State gets. And Dane's thing was, you got to be honest with the kid. You got to be honest with the kid. You got to be honest with the parents too, when you go into the house to recruit them. You know, you got recruiters that are going to sell them
Hey, if
the
you
world.
come in, we can get
Yeah,
you
you're
in,
the
get
guy.
you
You're the guy. You're the guy.
playing. Yeah, right.
And then there's guys that come in and say, listen, you're good, but you're not there. You have to we got to get you working on X, Y, and Z.
Right.
They don't like that. And what he said was, if that kid wants to come play for you,
Even after you told
knowing-
him.
then he's your guy.
Right.
You know.
Right. Absolutely.
And you're not going to get into the craziness of having issues with parents, with social media, with all that cultural stuff.
Absolutely.
You know, so it definitely, and that's exactly what the transfer portal is right now. It's those guys that
I mean, I
weren't
think
told
it's
the
rare
truth.
though to have like that type of honesty anymore though too. Like even with parents, because a lot of parents will see you play a game where you might have scored 20, but you gave up 35,
Right.
and you didn't help your team to win.
Yeah.
But you come off the court after the game, they're saying, "Way to go! You did a great job tonight."
Yeah.
In all honesty, you sucked.
One of the best
Boy.
things that came out of this interview, right? That I was listening to it coming from the school going home last night, and I won't forget I was getting on 81 over on the O'Neill, and he said about what they're doing right now,
Right.
At the point they're in, talking to the kids, talking, our kid's going to stay, are they going to go? Who are you going to get out of the transfer portal? And he said the one thing that the advice he would give and be able to provide Coach Woodson was what the landscape of college basketball is right now because he'd been in the NBA so long. He said he came down to parents and social media. And Dane said the first thing we need to do is bring them in for a parent meeting.
Wow.
And I'm thinking,
At a college level, they want to bring
At
a
the-
college
at Indiana,
they want to bring a
we're
parent meeting.
Yeah. We do this all the time at the high school level,
Right.
right? But I'm sitting here going, you're in the Big Ten at Indiana,
Wow.
and
You're gonna pull a maneuver like that.
but
I
but
kind of
he-
love
like
it.
it though.
I love
but
it.
but he said it like
Yeah.
Michigan State might be doing it.
Maybe.
It wasn't like he just the light bulb went off.
No, right.
And and he said, he goes, if same thing, if your parent, your aunt, uncle, your groupie that's pumping you up, telling you you're going to the league, whoever it is,
Yeah.
if they're out on social media and they're not happy with what's going on within the staff, and they have a staff issue and they're going to take it to social media, your son is going to pay and be held accountable for the actions of his loved one on social media, and you will not play basketball in Indiana University.
I love that. Absolutely.
And
Right.
it's that's
It's crazy. You never. This isn't something people really had to deal with, but that's the age of the game right now, where you have to deal with not just the basketball and academics, but also social media.
Right.
Whether it's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whatever you may be going on to.
And as good as social media is, that is the downfall.
Yeah,
Because
right.
let's not kid ourselves. This has been going on for as long as
Right.
sports have been happening. Like,
Sure.
oh, this coach sucks.
But
you were talking about it with your friends.
Exactly.
It wasn't out
It wasn't
there.
able to put it out in front of
Now you
Right.
could
millions
just,
and millions of people.
right.
Now you could just say
I
whatever
mean,
you
it's
want without
awesome that you get to see these
repercussions.
aspects of certain players. Like, I love to hear what like LeBron James has to say, so I can go to his Twitter and be like, "Well, what does he think about this?"
Right.
I can go find it out.
Yeah.
Also, the downside of it is that millions of people are saying you suck, da 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 da.
Right.
And all,
you got to be responsible
right,
enough and
exactly.
enough restraint to not engage them.
Yeah,
yeah.
unlike
Like-
Kevin Durant.
You took the words right out of my
How
mouth.
about
Kevin
him?
But that's-
Speaking of social
Durant.
media,
Hey, you know what? And that's
how does he not think like,
yeah,
this guy could take a screenshot of what I'm saying?
right.
Go back to the burner, Kev. Go back to the burner account.
Well, that just
bud.
goes back to show you how unprofessional, how immature he is right now. I mean, you
You can say whatever you want about
can't
LeBron. The
talk like
dude's
that.
done it right for
Oh, yeah.
19 years.
Right.
To the T. There's never been like a blemish on his name, whether it came to what he did on the court, off the court,
Yep.
social media.
Listen,
It's
record still could be out. It could be a giant mistake for him to do Space Jam 2. Listen, that could be.
Oh, I was like, what
yeah,
are you
no.
talking
That
about?
could be a grave mistake. I'm not.
I mean,
you don't mess
it
with
is what it is.
you don't mess with perfection. Space
I mean,
Jam
it's
1.
just like
is-
going to make like a Happy Gilmore 2. You don't do it.
You don't.
You
do
don't.
It.
I get it.
You don't do it.
But people just
I'll go
love
watch it. I'll probably go watch it.
Well,
see
yeah.
what it's about.
I mean, right. But in this, like you're saying, like you don't mess with. You just don't mess with it.
you
It
don't
was.
mess with the goat, man.
I don't know.
you're a big Space Jam fan?
It's a good movie.
Can you quote it?
You're not a fan?
Nah,
Do you think Space Jam 2 is going to be better?
Really? You're not
No.
a Space Jam fan?
nah. I'm not.
That's very surprising to me. You're rather like a realistic basketball. Like
yeah,
you're like
yeah.
you're,
Yeah.
you're of course
Well,
Hoosier.
Hoosiers,
and
blue chips. You know.
Yeah.
He got game.
You got game. Wow. Okay. What?
Yeah.
What's the one with Texas Christian? What's that one?
Texas Western.
Texas Western. I'm sorry. Thank you. What's that one?
Glory Days, Glory Road.
Glory Road.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. That was a great one too.
Yep.
Or what's the Coach Carter? Can't go
Coach
wrong
Carter,
with
I
Coach
saw
Carter.
that
Right.
one. That's a good one.
Remember the Titans.
Remember the Titans?
But you still have never
Varsity
seen
Blues, nothing Hooper. Still
have
drawing a
never seen
blank.
Varsity Blues. Oh my! And you
Friday
sleep,
Night Lights.
You sleep well at night.
You would be. Boom. Got it.
Oh, here we go.
Got it. I'm so excited.
Oh, okay.
I might fall flat on my face with this one, but it's worth it for me right now.
I might kick you. I might kick you square in the face.
Nope.
You're close enough. But
Hooper Pro Day, right? Tweeter 2.0.
Oh my
Right there.
God!
Tweeter.
The fact that you don't know what he's talking about makes it that much better. But you are tweeter.
Tweeter. The tweeter end zone dance.
dude, when I come out and run like a, when I come out
Oh my God!
and run like a 4.8.
It's a cute mommy hat you
Oh,
got on.
bud, I
4.8?
thought you were about to say like
No,
a
no,
4. It looked like you were about to 6. I was like, whoa! I'm gonna let's roll
I
the
was
train
thinking.
back.
I was,
need
I
a
was
rocket
between,
up your
I was,
ass.
I was between 8 and 9. I went 4.8.
I thought I saw a 6 coming out of your mouth.
No, come on. I'm a realist, bud. Like
Yeah, you're a realist. You're sub 5. Yeah.
Like
You
Jack.
compared yourself to C.D. Lamb. How are you a realist?
Just how I had to contort my body. I didn't say that.
You said I was like C.D. Lamb
How
going
he-
for this ball.
How he had to contort his
whatever.
body. Yeah, all right. But when I run a 4.8,
Yeah.
I want a public
I'm
apology
just gonna call you tweeter from now
via
on.
via
Holy
Instagram,
smokes.
the page. I was wrong about Hooper. He ran a 4.8.
Listen,
4.8 and-
I'll go one better. I'll let you write the script
Oh,
of the apology
all right.
if you run a 4.8.
Oh, for the fence.
I can make him say
No,
whatever.
no.
Whoa, bud. I
Me
didn't do that.
apologizing to Hooper, right?
Oh,
I get to
oh,
write it.
I
Yeah,
thought you said
he could-
for the
yeah.
script. I took that wrong.
Yeah, I'll read it.
Oh, I love this.
I like it.
This is awesome.
Yeah, I do like it.
Oh, time out.
Yeah.
Speaking of that,
Timmy.
do you owe him money now because he might have beat Madison and
I didn't beat them. There's
No,
no
he
shot.
didn't beat them.
so you owe him money?
No, where are you?
Yeah, well, he
So you
actually,
guys just give me all the money.
well, actually, he
I'll just take
actually
all
no,
the money.
we're even because he did owe me roughly $20 for a very well designed Bormania T-shirt that is literally rolled up in a ball in his office, hasn't moved. and
No, it's at the house.
Have you worn it?
It's at the
You
house.
should wear it to a podcast.
I'll wear it.
Have you gotten your Hawaiian shirt yet for when we?
But I'm ready to go. Don't worry about me. I got the bucket hat Hawaiian shirt. Yeah, I'm ready to go.
I told Tom he's gonna get some tiki torches donated by me. They're gonna be lit.
I'm excited. Did you
That'd be
see if
good.
anything like any of this stuff is waterproof at all yet?
Because Matt wants to float on a raft
I'm
in the pool.
going in the pool.
In the pool.
Headset on, everything.
Just put a Ziploc bag over. You'll
We'll
be
be
fine.
all right.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Waterproof.
Can't hear anything, but all you guys need to do is hear me.
So,
Oh, man.
question for you.
Go ahead.
So, have you ever been in the middle of like just an epic heater on the bowling lanes, and all of a sudden, sixth frame, hunger strikes? Like you're just like, oh man, I gotta go get something to eat. Well, if it happens to be at Southside Lanes, you're in luck because you could just go right up to the G&M snack bar. I mean, depending on what time it is, I'm a big fan of a bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich. Definitely go get yourself one. Say Chooping It Up sent you the podcast.
Firebird's pretty good.
The Firebird?
Yeah, Firebird.
So I know I go with what I like, the bacon, egg, and cheese, but you could definitely go there. Again, same Chooping It Up sent you the podcast. You heard it there. And
Well
you're
done.
just not going to get anything that you don't like on the menu. Great food,
Well
great
done,
atmosphere, and then you hit it and you get on that roll for the last 4 frames of the bowling. Maybe bowl that 300 or that 200.
You have to experience sitting counter side
I wanna-
with Mike during lunch.
Well done.
Like,
that was
Can we see if he can? Because I would love to go live.
yeah. Can
and
we
just
get
comment.
like a podcast at the
Yeah.
like? I don't know, like
Not yet, but
When we get up to 25
future?
listeners.
in the future, yes.
yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That would be awesome. Quite the view here we have tonight, boys. I'll tell you that.
Boys.
I wish the viewers could see this.
Boys. Just the pins.
But that was
The what?
you had me. I was like, what is he talking about?
Where was
right
I
now?
going with that one?
I was blown away. Very good.
Thank you.
Very, very well done.
What's my grade on that? So for our Dallas, Texas
Now-
listeners,
now-
you cannot. Obviously, I don't know if they ship. We didn't figure
We'll
that
ask
out.
them.
But if you're ever in Pennsylvania,
Listen,
Scranton,
you guys need to come on up.
home of the office, yeah.
Yeah.
If you're ever in the Scranton, Pennsylvania area, go up to G&M Snack Bar because you heard it on this podcast. We're
right.
big out in Texas.
88% in Dallas.
Grade. I don't think it was my best, but it wasn't
I'll give you a B.
B.
I'll give you a B. Solid B.
So I mean, that's pretty good.
Ooh, A minus. I wasn't
Woo!
expecting. I wasn't expecting it at all.
I'm gonna have to.
He's
get,
more realistic with it. I'm just gonna be like that.
Appreciate
guy
it.
that
You're-
gave
What'd you
it
give?
A minus.
You're just being a
That's
hype
what I
guy.
like.
Yeah, I am.
Gassing
I
me
am.
up. Gassing me
Really.
up. Love it.
I'm that guy though. I'm that guy.
We'll have to queue up that point of the podcast here and let Mike take a listen and
That's true.
see what he thinks.
Yeah, tell him to breeze past the first half hour.
First hour and a half. Jesus.
No, it only seemed like an hour and a half. It was only a half hour.
Really?
Jack's gonna hate
It
us.
seems like so much longer. Oh my god. He doesn't even breathe. Like he just keeps like letting it come out.
He doesn't want to like. You have to be firm with him. Tom tries to talk, and then he starts talking.
I
and
know,
then you
you
just have
just
to.
gotta-
You have to keep
Yeah,
talking.
you got to keep going.
gotta
You
keep
just have to
talking.
fight through it.
Well, boys,
So we got
Right.
the Masters this weekend.
Matt's got to go line the fade up.
gotta get the fade all lined up. Not bring the curls back anytime soon. So gotta keep perfection looking perfect.
Yeah.
Tom wants to say something so bad, and he's not because
I'm letting it go. I'm letting it go. You need help. You really do.
Master, who you got?
I said Brooks. I'm gonna rock with Brooks.
It's a good. I mean, anything that's a major, it's a good bet. Even though
It's
he's
not
been
going
on
to
it.
be Tiger.
It's tough. Too soon.
Wow.
Too soon.
How about that? How about that stuff came out today?
85 miles per hour.
Yeah. Yikes.
Not getting charged though.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's.
getting
I
charged,
don't
though.
understand.
Way to go.
Yeah.
I got a ticket.
We gotta talk about that. Oh my
yeah,
god.
yeah, another day.
No, podcast day. That's why we know we do. That's what we're leading off with.
But in all seriousness, I'm gonna go. Jack said Justin Thomas.
He doesn't. I did do a pool. I filled it out. He does not play well at Augusta.
Yeah.
Oh, we got to get on the course too.
Yes,
I went
we
out
do.
this weekend. That would be more great content.
On Augusta or of course.
A course.
You
Maybe
think
like
you think they'll let us on
It's-
Augusta?
nah. It's
How long do we last on Augusta?
First four.
half a hole.
First four. I'll
They're
say.
kicking us out. Well, they see
before I start throwing
Off the
clubs
tee
into
box.
the water.
They see me go off the tee box. into fairway 5,
See me smash the
and it's
green.
like, all right, you guys aren't cut out for here.
guys.
We
guys.
don't get to see. What do they call it? What do they call those couple holes?
Oh, amen corner.
Yeah, amen corner. You
No.
don't. We won't make it to amen corner.
When we go out, is there any way we
Can we
could
just
start
start there? Can we
on?
just start
what is
there?
it, 15?
Yeah, I think so.
16.
15.
15, 16, 17?
Can we just start on 15? We don't think we're gonna make it. We want to see amen corner. We don't think we're gonna make it more than a
We're
hole,
better off
maybe
just going
two.
to Pebble. Put us
Yeah.
on the waiting list right now.
Yep.
4 years later, we'll be there.
All right, so
Yeah.
in reality, we're at like a Summit Hills, a
Still-
Pine
But
Hills.
the thing about Summit is you're losing your ball in the fairway. That's what sucks.
Yeah.
yeah, I was there. That's where I went. Irons were
I
on
can't
fire.
believe. Who'd you go with?
Brian Langan, my boy.
No call, no text.
Just two of you.
No,
That's
his
cute.
cousin went.
Two.
His cousin
That's
went.
not weird.
So you still had room for one more.
So you had a
No,
threesome. Good for you.
One of his other buddies.
But you weren't called.
Nope.
Spur of the
Unbelievable.
moment, man.
All right.
I'm going. Speed's been playing well. But it's not. Gonna
I'm
be
going
Speed.
Spieth.
Oh, that's cute. You two pick Spieth.
No, he said
No.
he's not.
I think it might be. Rory's always up there, but I'm going Rory.
So Spieth, Rory Brooks, and Jack had who?
Justin Thomas.
Okay. We'll see how it goes.
All right, we should have put 20 on this too.
We still can.
Double or nothing.
Double or nothing.
No, I want my
boys.
money now.
Chase it.
Let's go. You know what? Never mind. Double down.
All right. Well,
All right.
good way to end it.
Don't forget to send me your Venmo, Tanner.
It's been a pleasure.
All right.
See ya.
See
Enjoy
ya.
that haircut.